Alright, I'm back with another Destiny 2 video, and I think you can probably guess what I'm going to be talking about today. This is the first time that Easy Trials of Osiris went live after Bungie's grand rework of the mode, incorporating a whole lot of feedback, including something I have been saying for years and years and years and years and years, that Trials needs matchmaking, which will be better for the overall health of the mode, both for lower skill players and higher skill players. I am not the only one with this idea, I realize that, but I am very happy that it finally made its way into the game, and now we are getting to see what that's like in the wild here. I've played for an hour and a half-ish or so. That's on and off because you have to keep flying back to the tower to talk to Saint. I think that's like 7 or 8 games, something like that. I think I'm like 3 and 5 or 3 and 4, something like that. So that is probably a little better than I would normally do if I was with my usual fire team and we were trying to actually get 3 wins without any losses or with only 1 loss on the mercy card. And just generally speaking, it does feel like I'm running into a more normal tier of player. I'm not getting all the gilded flawless, gilded unbroken types. I have seen some flawless people, I've seen some like triple unbrokens, and yet it's not full stacks of them. I think in these 7 or 8 games, I've only gone against 1 3-stack. There have been a good amount of 2 stacks with a third person, but generally speaking, it is less intense than it used to be, which I think was kind of the point of opening up the pool and allowing for matchmaking. Yes, obviously this has its downsides in that you cannot communicate with your teammates unless you kind of opt into fire team chat, which pretty much no one does. I don't care about talking to people for like a round of this because you are not paired with them. Once you keep going, you are thrown back into the random matchmaking pool. If you like did super well and you love your team, you can like friend request them and then party up and do it. There's nothing stopping you from that, but you're just kind of going in by yourself and it's luck of the draw. A few weird things I noticed off the bat is that you can always see what your enemies have because they do the loadout rundown. You can't see what your allies have except for their primary weapon right at the end there, and you can't check before you load in because if it's randomized matchmaking, you don't know which of these people are going to be on your team, and then you can't really check after because if you do it before the match starts, you're missing what your opponents have, so you really don't know what loadout your team is running. So that's kind of disorienting in a way that I didn't really even consider that. I don't necessarily want like the intro to double in length to show everyone's loadouts. I think that might be a little annoying, but I wish there was some way to kind of quick check what everyone was running just to kind of know. That lack of information is weird. It is kind of not great to have Trials bounties not give you anything related to getting an engram anymore. It's kind of weird to turn those in and just get XP and nothing else because bounties no longer feed into the rep system. But with that said, my complaints kind of come to an end here because I think everything else is very solid, and the more I play this, the more I'm kind of understanding what they're going for here. So going, 3 and 4 or whatever I am right now, I've already gotten 4 different drops because the first few levels of the ranks go quickly because you need so little XP. You get a Trials engram, and then you can do one of 2 things. You can turn that Trials engram into something you already have in your collections with like 20k glimmer and like 100 or 200 legendary shards or something to target focus a specific drop. So if I wanted like another Shuya's Wrath or something, I could do that. You could even do this with an Adept thing. I don't know if you have to go flawless in a given week to get an Adept thing. I'm not 100% sure on that. It seems like you do because it's not letting me get another copy of the Adept things I have. You might have to kind of re-unlock those for the new season or something. And yet you can kind of focus anything you already have. If you will be missing some things, I'm missing like the legs, for instance. I don't think I ever got Soulless Scar for whatever reason. And then obviously there's the new linear fusion rifle. So if you turn your engram in just to Rahul, it will just decrypt into something random in your collection, or not even just in your collection. You can also get the missing things you don't have outside of Adept weapons, obviously. So I got 2 linear fusions already just from doing that because I'm just trying to get the rest of my pool filled out. and then I can start target farming things if I want. I got a clown cartridge rampage, which that's pretty good, for a completely random drop. I got another messenger that has frenzy. Did messenger always have frenzy? Did they add that? Am I missing that? I never got one with frenzy before. And then I got, so once you get up a rank, you can get a prime trials engram, which will auto decrypt into something that is actually maybe a +1, I think. And I got like a 65 stat helmet, like trials helmet from that. So in 7 games, in about 90 minutes, this has already been dramatically more rewarding than most of my longer trial sessions in the past year. So what happens kind of as you win rounds and as you win matches, your XP goes up for the trials focusing system. So not focusing system, the rank system. So I started out getting like almost no XP, but now here with after 3 wins, I'm getting like plus 95 per match or something if I win. And then I think that just keeps going up and up and up until you cap out at 7 wins. And then I think you have to reset the card then. And I think you have a higher chance at getting wild drops and like potentially masterwork materials or something, like the more wins you have on a card if you keep playing. I think you can keep playing past 7 wins to just kind of keep farming for end of match stuff. I haven't gotten that far. Obviously, I only have 3 wins, so we'll see what happens there. But that seems like a pretty good system, and just generally speaking, they at the very least put in normal Crucible rewards. So like I'm not getting blues. Thank the Lord, I'm not getting blues, but I am sometimes getting legendary drops. I'm getting season pass drops because I unlocked those slots in the season rank system. I've gotten some honorable engrams. You're still getting Crucible XP. So it's not like you will end a trials match and just get nothing like you used to. So you are still getting at least some level of something, even though a few things feel kind of weird, like bounty's not giving you anything or stuff like that. But and then on the flip side of this, the side that I'm not really involved in, the people who are good at trials who go flawless, that still exists, and you could still go flawless and get Adept loot. That is the only place you can get Adept loot and the Adept mods and such. I don't really know if there's like a chosen weekly Adept thing now or how that works anymore. But I think that's also how you're able to start focusing Adept drops if you want those instead. And it's easy to see how, I mean, target farming stuff is just dramatically easier. I mean, it wasn't even possible to really target farm stuff before. Like, I think you could just rerun the flawless chest over and over, but like that was about it. Now it seems like you can focus stuff a lot more easily. Fundamentally, it does kind of seem like the core concept of trials has shifted. Like, no tracking of losses, no needing to reset your card all the time because you can get so many rewards without going flawless. No rewards at 3, 5, and 7 wins. Like, eliminating all of that does feel kind of strange. And yet, like, totally breaking the mode down to its ultimate base elements to make it more rewarding for more players and more played by more players, I think is ultimately a good thing. If you are super bad at trials, like, I don't know, I think this will help you, but it's not exactly going to be a blast. Like, going 0-5, 0-5, 0-5, like that's, you might slog your way to stuff eventually, but I think this will help kind of the mid-tier players the most, where, I mean, I would put myself in like low to mid for trials, but this already feels a lot more rewarding for someone like me who is like struggling to get 3 wins guaranteed every week with no losses, maybe get 5 if I'm really lucky, and then if I get carried I can get the flawless maybe, but that's about it. And it seems like a lot more accessible, a lot more rewarding, and kind of it answers a lot of the problems that the mode has had for so long, like not even just recently, but for pretty much since it started. Like, I guess it has lost some of its elitism and like being this thing locked behind for the ultimate 0.001% of PvP players, and yet like Destiny is such a big game. I don't know if you want anything that limited, especially something you are devoting so many resources to with full armor sets and new weapons and all this different stuff. Like, you want people to be able to experience this. And I think they've done a good job of balancing the best of the best people still getting flawless rewards, and probably getting it easier, honestly, because the pool is so much bigger and they're probably going to match against, generally speaking, lower skilled people, at least at the earlier rungs than they were before, but also for lower tier players to be able to at least get something for their effort and maybe stick around long enough in the mode to get better and have it be something that they didn't just avoid completely. Because the only way to even start this before was with a fire team. And like that step alone, like LFGing for trials, something you probably know you were bad at, like I think that was such a barrier for everyone. Whereas now it's just matchmake. If you go 0-5, whatever, you never have to see these people again. You can die of shame, but like it doesn't matter. Then you just queue up again, and like eventually you'll probably get paired with someone who's okay, or the algorithm will figure out that you're really bad and start putting you with the really bad other people, which it did. I feel like it did take a couple of games for the game to like understand my relative skill level, and matches seem more kind of normal now than they did in the first few games. We'll see how this goes in the long term, and as I'm curious about that. But overall, I am satisfied with this as an experiment. I guess we have to see kind of how things go and maybe what problems I could be overlooking in the early stages here. I do feel like the mode has changed on a fundamental level where it like almost barely even feels like Trials anymore, and yet I don't hold up Trials on this like super high pedestal that everyone else does to the same extent, and I think it needed this to not be completely irrelevant for 99% of players. So we'll see how this plays out. I recommend you jump in and try it, and expect to lose hard first, 3-4 games, and see if the algorithm will start matching you with more people at your level. I'm curious to see what the community's thoughts about this are in general, so let me know in the comments, and I will be on Twitter getting everyone's thoughts there, I'm sure. So anyway, I'm going to go back to it. I have engrams to farm or whatever I'm doing now, and I need a headstone linear fusion rifle. That's my goal. But I think it's a welcome change. It's an overdue change, and I think it is the right move for the mode right now. And I really hope we see this kind of target farming go to Iron Banner. Holy crap, do I wish this was the Iron Banner target farm system. This would be amazing if that was true. But we'll see what happens there in 6 months or whatever it's going to be. But anyways, thank you for watching, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.